And I say to you, my friends, do not be afraid of those who kill the body, and after that have no more that they can do. But I will show you whom you should fear. Fear him who, after he has killed, has power to cast into hell. Yes, I say to you, fear him. Jesus had spoken to his disciples things that he wanted them to speak from the housetops. He said to them essentially, listen, I've whispered things in your ear. The things I've whispered in your ear, I want you to yell them from the housetops. I've told you things in private, and the time is coming when you are going to declare them publicly. But here's the problem. When they would make a public declaration of the gospel, when they would begin to speak forth the things in public, the very things that Christ had told them in private, it would draw a target on them, and it would begin to draw the persecution of those who were in opposition to Jesus. Amen? There would be attacks that would come as a result of the things that they said. The reality is, when we take a stand for righteousness, when we take a stand for the scriptures, when we take a stand for Christ, the world is going to react very negatively against us. They are going to speak out against us. They're going to criticize us. They're going to revile us. They're going to ridicule us. They may cancel us. Oh dear, they're going to cancel me. They may cancel us, right? They're not at the point yet where they're going to kill us, at least not here in the United States. But it is happening already in other places. There are people who have been beheaded for their confession of Christ. There are people who have been shot for their confession of Christ. There are people who throughout history have been burned at the stake, beheaded, and tortured for their confession of Christ. And we enjoy a brief respite from that here, and it's made us complacent. But the reality is, the day is coming when we will have to face persecution. And that persecution may take different forms than we expected to, but the reality is we have to be willing to face it. We are to fear God more than we fear men. Because here's the reality. They can kill the body. Yes, they can. And sometimes they do. Sometimes they have. But once you're dead, there's nothing else they can do to you. God, however, can take life, and having killed can then cast into hell. And you say, well, wait a minute, why would a loving God do that? You know what? The reality is, he is a loving God, which is why he sent a means of salvation that we could avoid that fate. But if we reject the only means of salvation, then nothing remains for us but judgment. We, as followers of Christ, must be willing to stand up in the face of opposition. We must be willing to stand up in the face of something that people fear more than almost anything. Do you know what people fear more than almost anything else? They fear rejection.